can't show it, but the walker the annoying girl kills is clearly in the water, knee height at the start and then shin height by the time she kills it, and yet when she walks away it's on the beach, nowhere near the water.
Watch tracks, watch fire.
Also, when she walks back to the group, you can see these stones are on her right, but when the angle changes, they're on her left.
And up! Drop!
Having one dude doing the shouting out and another person doing the visual representations of those orders.
Archers!
When you have 9 archers and yet 12 arrows hit the walkers and 2 of your archers are using slingshots. Quite dumb of the king to put his noggin right there by that hole when there's a walker hand right there, and one scratch from that means your turn. I realise it's training day or whatever, but I don't understand the sense in using the shields for such a small portion of the training day and then having these 3 run out swinging their weapons around where the risk of getting bitten is the highest. I figured the use of the shields and archers was to avoid any risk of biting, but no, that's just part of it? Again, can't show much of it, but they've got loads of arrows. I don't understand the point in furiously yeeting their weapons at the targets instead. Like, first of all, that's way more hassle than using the bow and arrow. And let's just say, they're not hitting all those targets, lobbing a massive pickaxe 10 meters at them. But also, you're throwing entire weapons at them. So if that breaks, it's a lot harder to replace than a wooden arrow.
Looks like you need a strong woman to help you with that.
Kids found it by the estuary. The river must have carried it down.
What does it mean?
What are you asking him that for? It's a mask they found by the river. Is he a friggin' fortune teller or something? He'd have just as good an idea of what that could mean as literally anyone else. But it probably means one of them lost their mask near the water at some point.
But if there's a mask, maybe there are other signs of them out there. We owe it to our people to be sure.
In fairness to her, she never once said anything about not doing any checks. She merely said not to bother locking down Alexandria purely based upon a washed up mask.
Are we the good guys?
Why would you ask that?
I think about it a lot.
Talking like that is so incredibly cringy. Like they've never, not once as a group, attacked another group out of cold blood. Never forced anyone to work. They take in people from outside, give them food and shelter and supplies. Like what is he even talking about?
Come on.
Hey! Watch their hands!
Oh, another person had a breakdown out of nowhere. He was fine. He was talking normally, then his brain went whoopsie whoops. He ran out windmilling at the enemy like a Fraggle out of nowhere.
Well, that was stupid. We agreed not to cross their borders or to start anything without a reason. If it was them, you could have died. And it wasn't them, and you could have died.
We've all been acting like this is normal, holding our breaths for months. This isn't normal.
Okay, but that has diddly squat to do with what she just said, so maybe try and stick to the subject instead of going off on a tangent randomly. She said if it was the Whisperers, he could have been killed. If it was just walkers running in like that, he could have got himself killed. And his response, our lives aren't normal right now. We're having to be so careful. That's not normal. What are you talking about, mate? Stick to the subject at hand.
The thing is, Eric is dead. Jesus is dead. And I'm goddamn sick of being nice.
That has nothing to do with running off on your own to fight walkers and almost getting bit! Also, why writers? Why the hell do you bother to sit at your meeting and say, I'm gonna write him pondering the morals of their group and whether or not they're truly the good guys, and then someone at the other end of the table says under his breath, yeah, and I'm gonna have him rush into a bunch of walkers angrily and then say, no more Mr. Nice Guy because too many of my mates have died.
They have a nuclear weapon, and we don't. It's not about being nice.
Just putting this out there, it's so dumb that they're trying to sell us on the notion that they've straight up run out of ammo and guns by season 9. It just took me till now to realise that that is what they're telling us. Clearly their nuclear option would have been guns and ammo. Easy to take down any horde with enough of them, but now they can no longer use them, so they can't beat a horde that big, hence her statement. Okay, that's fair enough, but the notion that they cannot find any ammo in frigging America, where there's like more than 300 million guns, is ridiculous.
It's a campsite. Couple people. What am I missing?
It's not what we wanted to show you.
Well, way to remain coy and not immediately tell them what you want to show them and let them wander around in silence looking at the wrong stuff for 30 seconds.
I was telling you to be smart. Not afraid.
Is it just me, or is it not at the very least unnecessary, but also incredibly gross and unsanitary for him to have felt the need to hold on to that Walker skin suit?
And for Judith.
And my dad?
No sin here. But my god, this kid sounds exactly like the dubbed version of the kid from Ghost Stories. This kid never got the memo that a loud sound goes off, shocking everyone as he continues happily smiling away.
You're picking it up so quick. You're a natural.
There's nothing natural about this.
Okay, that's not what she said and you know it. You can be a real natural at something. Doesn't mean asking you to learn to read is natural. It's a play on words. Ugh!
What have you done in the past however many years you've been here, huh?
Negan, get back to work. Hey, you're supposed to keep your distance.
Someone found a skin.
What does alert mean?
What is the point in having his guard warn him to get back to work and telling her to keep her distance? Then when he doesn't get back to work and she in fact gets closer, he doesn't say anything.
Anytime, man. Or should I say God?
This is Eugene. I need to speak with Michonne and any of the community leadership at OS right away.
See now, this is where The Walking Dead just miserably fails even the easiest matters of continuity. Because just 19 seconds after the bang was heard, the woman came running out to get Michonne.
Michonne! Eugene's on the radio.
Yet on the other side, it took Eugene 15 seconds just to run from inside the house to the radio and to get in contact with them requesting to speak to Michonne. And that's not even taking into account his run to the house from outside and then up the stairs. Casually sidestepping how she was, confident in her sister being out and about with Daryl with nothing but a pen and a pad of paper. So very confident was she that she said, Daryl will be okay because he's got my sister with him. Yeah, it's definitely not though, is it?
You know something, when I worked in a zoo...
Did he just call Daryl son? He's like a few years older than the king. CGI.
They're walkers. We can still get the deer.
Oh, it's too late.
Why are we still respecting borders we never agreed to when Alpha isn't even here?
Well, for one, he only just told you about a mask washing up on shore and how everyone is now on alert looking for signs of them. And furthermore, she wants to spend all of her time out on the boats constantly. She doesn't exactly get the right to potentially trigger a war over territory while she's out at sea.
Sorry if I didn't want my best friend to spend her whole life on a boat.
Best friend? What are you, Zen? Should we have matching bracelets now? No, I could make some with fisherman's twine. Decorate them. It'd be really cute. Tiny little seashells. Oh, what's your favorite color? Green? Blue? Black. Definitely black. Should we make a matching collar for dog?
Dear Lord, we get it! They've done all of that training with the bows and arrows. Amazingly, they're all a fantastic shot, never missing. And there's still quite the distance between them and the walkers, and yet they let loose one volley of arrows and then go in melee style. I'm not going to show it, but Carol put out a fire with the blood of a walker. Like, are we being told that these walkers have blood flow equal to a normal human? Cut their throat and it will spew out like you've turned on a damn faucet?
Do you think I could wash up?
This girl is unnaturally calm immediately following a rather tense negotiation about whether they can stay the night while this massive dude stands there with a knife in front of them. A single minute after meeting him and him swinging his knife and them talking about fighting, and he's like, "Stay one night, don't leave the hallway," and she's like, "Right, where can I wash up, mum?" One would think you'd be quite careful when potentially kissing walker blood, especially this early into the apocalypse, knowing that a bite or a scratch can turn you undead prematurely, and so you'd think intaking a bit of raw blood would be something you'd clearly look to avoid like the plague.
I don't want to be scared. I want to be more like you, Mama.
I've waited so long to hear that. And I hope that you will. Because if you can't, I have no choice to leave you behind.
She actively offers the girl her bunny, mentions how she's never slept without it, seems genuinely surprised, since clearly for years she's been giving her daughter the bunny every night, and then randomly says, "If you can't grow up, I'll leave you behind." Why? Don't know about you, but certainly feels like that line should have been stated after the daughter asked for her bunny or something.
What actually made her scream then?
Can't show it, but feeling the need to physically throw walkers into the walls rather than just continuing to use your very handy and sharp bladed weapon.
Hold on, big man. Mr. B.
I thought we didn't have names.
Not a name. It's a letter.
Actually, Big Man and Mr. B are both not just letters. It's also very close to this channel's name, so take a different name. Or letter.
You've been gone for hours? Are you angry with me?
Am I missing something here? Is his being gone for a long time somehow tied to any feelings he may have for this girl?
Well, you're different.
People who knew me before all this would probably say the same. She was dead the moment she was born. She was not like me.
She says, after stating early during the episode when she first met the guy, that other people would have been surprised who had known her previously to see what she had turned into after the end of the world. Meaning before it all went to pot, she was a normal person like everyone else, and thus when her daughter was born, she was very much like her, that being a normal person. No one in the distance seems even mildly concerned that he was pinned down by a walker. Truly seems like A, the dumbest way to make a point, let's throw thousands of walkers at them at a place where they can very easily defend and take them out, and B, they're really only screwing themselves over. They rely on these herds, they spend ages gathering them, and then they throw them at such a secure location filled with over 100 people armed with weapons.
Why do you want to talk with us?
You crossed into her land. Again, you have to answer for that.
I'm just throwing this out there as a story-related sin. If you ever wanted the Whisperers to be a true danger to the group, you have to have done something else. I'm sorry, but I'd be way more scared of a group of bandits with weapons than I'd ever be of slow-walking humans who have a single knife on them. That's just not hard to beat. Especially when they're surrounded by walkers who will eat them if they react suddenly. Point being, they're just straight up too damn easy to beat.
Come on, man. Let's go.
Carol doesn't think to once call for help. That moment where you can't physically cut the rope, so you just quite clearly hold your arm still while the magical rope cutting sound effect goes, and it equally magically cuts the rope free.
I'm gonna need you all to leave.
He says, randomly, quite aggressively.
I went out with you today to protect you because
Protect me? I taught you how to fight.
Rosina.
Damn it, Eugene. You and I are never going to happen.
I was awaiting the glorious return of Atuchusita the First. She's back!
The infirmary's only got beds enough for 4, maybe 5.
Okay, we could empty out a couple trailers.
We can use Maggie's old office. Marker. Connie, Kelly. Grab anything we can.
Oh, boo-hoo! Your suggestion wasn't taken. Get over it. Maybe help out.
Right. No, she kicked your ass out. Now you're just a freak.
Get the hell out of here.
Really? It's been like a year?
Maybe the Whisperers want to keep us fighting back until we get so tired that they have the advantage.
That is not bad, kiddo.
Which doesn't really work when you consider that literally nothing bad happened before they crossed into their territory. That's when the hordes kept coming to Alexandria, and that's when the meeting took place. They were actually gone almost entirely up until recently. Being so very confident that your mate behind you, who you're not even looking at, who hasn't said a word, is going to take out the walker right near you so that you can concentrate on those that are quite far away is kind of dumb. Just take it out yourself. It's right there by you. You're assuming she'll not miss, and it's quite visible in the corner of your eye. But I guess all that means nothing when you got to do some ninja moves.
Yo! We got our peaks! Get back in here!
Alright. Here's a good question though. Why do this right in front of the wall when you can take them out from above? Or maybe lead them away and slowly take them out? Walkers that are, for some unknown reason, far more interested in a piece of sheet metal than actual living humans right nearby.
A man like that, who's done the things he's done, killed the people he's killed, something inside him is broken.
Killing him now over this undermines the civilization that we have built.
What about the people who never got to witness that civilization because of him?
Anyone else find it utterly ridiculous that he now voted for Negan to be killed after he saved him during the last episode? Like, surely, if you want to have him feel that way, you gotta build that up. You can't have him save his life, help him out while he's blinded, and then have him being all like, yeah, but what about the people he killed? Yeah, 6 years ago, mate. Done nothing since bar save your life, and hers, and the annoying little girl.
Where the hell is all of this coming from? You're not my lawyer anymore.
Oh dear Lord. That's terrible.
What? He's gone.
Pointless delay of anticipation when you're already frantically banging on the door.
My mother was right. She said you people put on these polite faces, but it's just a mask. Because when things get bad, when you get scared, you pick a target, aim, and shoot.
Yeah, alright. It was 3 douchebags though, to be fair, wasn't it? No one else was actively targeting her. Maybe the others gave her a bit of a cold shoulder, but that's it. Hey, how's that superpower working out for you? When you roll down a hill and quite clearly don't hit your face, and yet get up with blood and cuts on your face and mouth. Oh, very polite walker going in hand first for a quick shoulder tap.
Over there.
Oh, really? What, those 2 walkers literally right in front of you? Not the ones half a mile away, no?
I'm not sure if you heard, but someone stole a crate of fish. The one from Oceanside.
Actually, we could use a hand in the infirmary. Much of the kingdom's still in recovery from the tree fall.
We're planning on leaving tomorrow, but yeah.
Yeah, he didn't say he wanted you to stay for a week, did he, mate? Forest Ninja Walker! They come out of nowhere and they grab you real quick. They don't make sense because they make no sound. Forest Ninja Walker! Not gonna show it, but he very awkwardly pulls the walker's head off instead of doing what everyone else does and poking that cheesecake they call a noggin with their sticks.
You needed a second to wrap your gift.
How are you gonna justify taking friggin' 50 seconds to get a baseball bat out of a bag, bruh?
There's more. I swiped it all from Alexandria. Was waiting for the right time to surprise you.
Oh wait, so it's even worse than I thought. He wasn't faffing around for 50 seconds trying to get the bat out to potentially help him. No, Negan was clearly struggling and this guy was like, oh, I'm gonna get his leather jacket out the bag. Oh, very CGI rocks.
Tomorrow. Okay, this one time, he takes me fishing, right? Fishing. And he's drinking, right? So he's fishing, he's drinking. He falls in the lake, like, right?
You know, instead of saying, hey guys.
You know, if I was lost in the woods, it's the three of them I'd want to come looking for me.
She gives them a look of like, really? Cheeky. But all three of the people out there right now are apparently master trackers, so why not?
You really think Kelly's okay?
I hope so.
What about us? That tree didn't fall on its own. Wasn't leaning or dying. The roots were healthy. If you don't think they're coming back for worse, son, you're not thinking at all.
This old man just wanders into the scene making so many assumptions that it's incredibly random. He comes in saying, you really think the girl is okay? He never said she was or wasn't. He said if I was lost in the woods, I'd want those three to come get me. He then follows it up by saying the tree falling was done on purpose, and if you think otherwise, then you aren't thinking. But he never mentioned feeling otherwise. So what is going on?
Or smoke inhalation from a fire might have triggered it. Let me just...
It's fine. Now we both know what it means.
Oh, you can manage it. Acupuncture, hypnosis.
You can manage neck cancer with hypnosis?
Got a stash somewhere. Probably full of weapons too.
In what world would a lad think that she and the kid probably have a stash of weapons, but meanwhile never felt the need to arm themselves with said weapons when they go out and about?
It's a chick and a kid. Brandon, people are a resource.
Yeah, not them.
I cannot fathom the writing that goes on at the Walking Dead HQ, where just before this he talks about them probably having a stash and we should follow them, and then not 5 seconds later is like, yep, I'm gonna go ahead and kill them both for no reason. What?
Getting our guardians killed if they're wolves. Cut the enemy down all at once.
They can take that sin back from the previous episode, since at least someone did address the logic behind throwing thousands of walkers at a very solid defense when they spent ages gathering them.
Let us vote. Anyone agree?
Why would you randomly hold a vote with like 7 people when they've got loads of guys?
You said you wanted another guardian.
Again, just like in another video, people are so cool about losing their lives and being aware that it's coming. Dude's been cut on the leg and arm quite badly, and he's coming to finish the job, and he's like, I've lived a good life, into the afterlife for me.
You said you wanted another guardian.
Yeah, but isn't that one now going to potentially take quite some time before he turns? And she wanted to leave like straight away.
Thwack! Snap your fingers right on his nuts. Keep those meaty fingers holstered up when my nuts are around.
Okay.
Well, this is getting weird.
More dangerous from here on out. That's what you said to me. What do you think?
I'm sorry, I refuse to believe that someone can be this big of a nut job and have managed to live without incident all of that time in Alexandria, having even been chosen as one of the guards of Negan, and yet as soon as he's out and about for a single day, starts straight up murdering women and children for no reason and constantly be talking about how much he loves Negan and his whole crew. I'm not buying what you're selling. He doesn't even check either of their pulses. Like, there's no blood anywhere near their bodies, and the guy seemingly took them out with a tire iron. Like, yeah, that'll hurt, and you use it enough, they'll certainly die, but they could just be out of it, especially with the previously mentioned lack of blood anywhere. Clearly wounded woman being held up and helped along, and the people at the gate be like, yeah, I'll open the gate, but you drag your own clearly injured ass inside without my assistance. Also though, are we being led to believe that no one spotted them coming and told the leader that they were on their way to the gate? What, was she just standing there chilling? They noticed her but never said anything, and then they opened the gate, still not saying anything, and only then did she inquisitively decide to turn around. Oh, who's at the gate, I wonder? Aren't those press to talk radios? Like, I'm guessing it's the one Eugene was using during episode 1, and that was very much press to talk.
Since the day you showed up, your fancy suit with all your fancy...
Do you really want to know what I thought that day?
Gotta love how no one drives vehicles anymore, or even smokes, but Daryl has seemingly an infinite supply of cigarettes and petrol for his bike.
There's a tiny part of you that's thrilled to be sick, just so you can spend more time with me.
You think I'm puking because I got a little crush?
No, actually. As cringy and terrible as that joke was, it was about you being glad that you're sick so that you can see him. Not that you're sick because you like him.
Don't you think we'd make a bitchin' couple?
Son, I would break you like a twig.
Oh dear Lord, get on with it!
And if you need me to peek at Rosita later, just say the word. Happy to, you know, make sure she's on the mend. Fuck me!
Hey, you.
I think I need a house call, Doc.
I thought we were supposed to be in bed.
Yeah, supposed to be in bed, not running yourself ragged laying on the sofa like a mad woman. Would you do that though? I think you'd have to be crazy to give him food after the second in charge has just said no, and the two people in charge keep going around killing anyone who vaguely disagrees with them on stuff.
About what I said earlier, I am.
No worries. I get it. We're stuck with pre-industrial age meds and simple suddenly become a big deal.
Well, it's way more about you not calling on him after you had half the town's population in there sick and you're still being the cool dude taking on the slack. Like, there reaches a point where you cancel some annual leave, you feel me? Also, coming back to this, he's a bad guy, so of course he wouldn't seek his help, but that still wasn't his original point, and he never corrects him.
You put us all at risk.
We have to find that horde before it shows up at our gate.
So you decide for all of us?
Isn't he really jumping to conclusions? Or did they enter with the prisoner and immediately say to a guard, we went to look for the horde in their territory and we caught a prisoner?
My mom twists people, gets them to do what she wants, makes them think it's what they want.
Not because she's going around knifing everyone who doesn't say bless you when she sneezes and stuff then, no? Come on, girl! She killed someone who saw her cry! She killed someone last episode because they came up with a reasonable alternative plan and then lost a vote! I don't think she's twisting people mentally, I think she's slicing and dicing, though.
You have bread every day.
Oh. So after all of this time, he never once felt the need to say to anyone at Alexandria, by the by everyone, saw a girl dumping walker guts into the stream. Probably not a great idea to drink that water. Okay, I'm off, bye-bye.
So, what's it gonna be? Honey or jam? Straw.
That knife is incredibly clean considering she just put some stuff on it and stuck it on the bread beautifully without looking. Not being funny, I can't spread anything that neatly and I'm physically looking at the bread. I'm not one of these professional non-looking bread artists. Get out of here with that! Just an FYI, if that was real, she would either have a broken hand or an extremely damaged hand after doing that. Not the greatest thing to do in that situation.
Cheryl?
If she's meant to be sleeping like he's been telling all of them to do, then it's kind of counterproductive to run up the stairs saying her name fairly loudly. Like, just walk into the room, and if you need to wake her, then do it.
Go home. You should be in bed.
No.
Dude's really gonna act like she didn't just have to dive in there to save him from drowning?
There's not a common denominator. It's not one that I can...
What?
Nothing. Go home, okay?
Gotta love how he gets this eureka moment about the drinking water and in spite of her only now getting a little better, doesn't tell her to stay away from the water for a hot second while he looks into it quickly. No, nothing's wrong. Go on home and drink loads of water!
Your mother told her people that she killed her.
You said you wanted my help.
Did.
You used me.
Like, first of all, that's a hell of a reach. She just assumed that what? Carol knew he was being held there against his will and thus she could swoop in with the girl?
You're just like her. You said you wanted me to choose a side? I choose mine.
Secondly, goodness gracious me, that's the world's quickest turnaround. Oh, you lied, you want me to pick a side? I'm going back to mummy, you bunch of bumheads! Ah!
Open your eyes.
In fairness, for this show, credit where it's due, that was a hell of a twist that I didn't see coming a mile off, so take a well-deserved sin-off right there. I should point out that she's again either broken her hand or extremely badly damaged it right there. Also though, no guy's getting knocked unconscious by a woman weighing about 90 pounds and the guy is probably 5'10 and 200 pounds.
Doesn't matter. None of this matters.
Why aren't they doing that in the cell though?
You can leave right after the funeral.
We gonna trust a whisperer now?
He says this like that wasn't their entire plan for the past couple of episodes, to trust the word of a whisperer as to the location of the herd. Library Ninja Walker! She came out of nowhere and she grabs your leg. She shouldn't exist because she didn't react to sound. Maybe she was deaf. Another library ninja walker! He came out the bookshelf and reacted real slow. He shouldn't exist because he also didn't react to sound. Maybe they were from a learning disability class.
Hey! What's your name, man? What happened? This guy just came in out of nowhere. He saved my life.
Maybe this place is the largest library in America and he wandered off halfway across the building, or they really should have heard him struggling for a solid minute and came to help earlier. Also, are we just going to ignore the fact that he walked down the aisle and didn't see a walker, just laid there chilling out?
I'll take all of it.
Hey, I'm sorry. Is everything all right?
Sadiq is dead. So no, not everything is okay. We have to get to Oceanside and get back home now.
And if I didn't know any better, by the way she talks to him, you'd think he killed him.
Maybe Dante was right about us. We're not as strong as we think we are.
Based on what, though?
Look what people did to the world. And you think we can be good?
What? Is he saying people made walkers in a lab or something? What?
No!
This guy has survived the end of the world for what? 10 years? And now suddenly he's acting like it's day one again. No! Get off me, you smelly walkers! Get off!
Don't move.
Bullshit.
The book fell out and I picked it up for you, and it clearly belongs to the library.
Put it back.
Be careful.
Ugh, the idea of a little girl reacting like that to a grown-ass dude throwing himself towards her in anger. I'm just going to move my feet slightly because he's going to fall because he can't reach me, and he's definitely not going to do anything else because I'm cool, calm, and collected.
He needed help. Even with what might happen to me here, I'm glad I did it.
That's a dumb thing to say. If anything, it would very clearly put you in good stead for saving one of their friends' lives. It's not a negative, is it? If you want to kill me, after I saved your friend's life, I don't regret it, because I did a good thing. But, if ultimately you kill me for it, then, alright, why would I kill you? He's one of my friends. Well, I'm just saying, I did a good thing, and if you're going to kill me for it, then fair enough. God, I hate the show's writing.
Hey! Yeah!
The idea that Daryl started running off after her immediately, and yet she's this far ahead with no one in sight after crossing the field. That seems both logical and sensible given the situation. Can you make it any darker? I can almost see something on the screen.
Got something? Groundwater's deeper in here. The water's coming from outside.
Can you turn up the walkers a bit? I can almost hear them speaking.
We can use those to jump across.
Nice.
Wait. For real?
No, she's right. Let's wait and take the helicopter out of there instead.
Why didn't you think of that before you got us all trapped down here?
Hey, it's not the time for this.
Why not? Seems like we have plenty of it.
Oh, very clever, but I think you know all too well that he's not talking about literally having the time to discuss it. Also though, it really should be noted and pointed out that no one forced her to run in there with everyone else. When they followed, it was initially one-on-one, Carol and Alpha, but then everyone else went. She wasn't exactly required to also run after them. think that if she just wanted them dead, that the easiest method would have been instructing her people to take them out whilst they were surrounded, instead of leaving and simply saying, don't let them out there.
The latrine is at the edge of the camp for hygiene, not privacy.
Well, actually, I just wanted to talk.
Replying with, well, actually, kind of implies that she's hinted he's there for something else. But she didn't. She just pointed out that the latrines were placed outside the camp for hygiene and not privacy. That was it. She never alluded to an ulterior motive or anything. In fact, to be honest, it's weird she mentioned the latrines at all, since all he did was rock up and make a pun.
Come on, let's follow my boys, come on.
Or the big old light you're holding and shining in their direction.
Just follow my light.
Well, this is peak level entertainment right here. At this point, I feel the need to say how incredibly dumb it is to build up her claustrophobia, only to have her be happy enough to snatch up some dynamite and run off back here to bury the walkers. Like, okay, she's scared this entire time, but now she's suddenly cool. Final sin here is for how plainly boring this episode has been. I know I give The Walking Dead a hard time, and that's my job. I take the mick and you hopefully get a decent laugh out of it. But this has just been insanely boring to me. Can't say much else. Take a rare episode-related sin. Forgetting that she's deaf.
We don't want our backs pressed against this mountain when they come. We can't save them if we're dead.
This girl loves throwing that toad all over the place. Ah!
I haven't. I don't.
It's amazing how much you say you don't know.
Is it? Because she's only said that she didn't know the spy at the camp, and she hasn't said that she doesn't know anything else. That's a weird thing to say, bruh. I think it would look a lot more realistic if he had blood in both eyes, since his left is clearly fine, and yet apparently his vision is completely full of blood.
2 rescue parties. Rosita and I will take the first.
We don't know if any of this is real.
Don't we? You said you were sure she wasn't lying.
I am. You all are hesitating because you're afraid of them.
Whoa, 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 don't go putting them all in one basket, mate. For one, the other girl hasn't said a single word, and the black dude actually sounded quite positive that she was telling the truth. If you're addressing Atujuzita the first, then just address her directly, mate.
We broke her. Completely. And if we can break her, we can break others. If you come across one of them, keep them alive. Start pulling teeth and taking fingers.
Even though you didn't do literally any of that to that girl, yeah? In fact, you actually haven't done that to the first guy who died from being poisoned by the spy, and then you just straight up killed the spy, so what are you on about? Man, really? Now you're going to go and show me that none of the blood was in his eyes at all? And if you think he must have cleaned it off, incredibly well I might add, then surely he'd have cleaned off the rest too. So she's just assuming he's in there because of a little bit of fresh looking blood on the sign out the front. He couldn't have continued past the building then, no?
I'm from Santa Monica. That was in California. My parents' names were John and Alice. I went to school, and Alpha has a way of making you forget.
You really don't remember anything?
No! She told you where she grew up, the names of her parents, but she couldn't recall the name of her school. That's a reach to go from the school to, oh, you can't remember anything?
Bullshit.
As opposed to taking that golden opportunity to ensure that he's dead with another shot.
You will walk with your sister again.
So they just walked straight out? No one saw them? No one stopped them? And even Atchitusi the First just laid there and did nothing, yeah? Oh, how extremely opportunistic that she should wander in there out of nowhere a mere minute after she and Daryl had both mentioned her. Seems to me to be mildly counterproductive to chant whilst you're doing this. Like, surely there's way more negatives to doing it than positives. Positives, you get a small war chant going. Depending upon the distance you're travelling, you will either be uplifted and get your pulse going, or be quite annoying since you've been doing it a solid couple hours or longer. The negatives are, it's kind of pointless, and if you cough or something because you're slightly straining your voice, they'll jump on you like a pack of damn pumas.
Who's that?
Never seen her before.
Just assumes that he's talking specifically about the girl at the back. One of like 8 people in view or more.
Now go! Before I say something I truly regret.
I like how he's so smart and yet never once thought it might be a good idea to schedule the talks at certain times or whatever, and instead just hoped that no one would ever head up there and potentially hear them talk.
Daryl, I want to fight.
Shut up.
It's Negan. He's with her now.
What? That's a massive reach, isn't it? Let's keep in mind, this isn't the first time that they've blocked a road before either. They did it before the massacre at the tail end of the last season.
If we didn't think we were gonna die tonight.
Wait. We're gonna die tonight? Tell everyone to gather up.
The horde's coming!
Why do loads and loads of rats all hang around together in the same place and then run around in the nearby vicinity of the horde, though?
I'm never gonna hate you.
Other than for cool-looking purposes, I struggle to see how Daryl was stood outside in the daylight just now talking to Carol, and now it's night, and he's only now grabbing a weapon and heading outside whilst everyone and their dog is already out there. Reckon he was having a last-minute nervous poo. So using up all of those batteries accounted for taking the noggin off of one walker, and the rest just got slightly burnt? What a hilarious waste of resources that little gimmick was. It's so incredibly stupid to do this pointless slow walk up to the fence. Like, just be there already. Instead, they're pushing against the barrier and they're like, no, gotta do our slow little soldier trot. You wait there, you sillies, I'm coming. I get arrows could reach that distance, and that's fair enough, but the notion that all of them fired arrows that perfectly reached and hit the wall is nonsense. Like, someone is going to do a naff one that falls short. Come on, boy! She knocks this person out by lightly tackling them to the floor and then kicking them once in the stomach region, maybe? Maybe go back and actually finish the job!
Hey, you can't go back out there. You know what Alpha wants.
I'll never walk with her.
Such a change of mindset, though, after running off having taken a shot at Carol or whatever she did, being all like, I hate you, you stink! And now she hooks up one time with her mother, who is raving because she's so out of it, and suddenly she's firmly 100% back on their side. Might sound cruel, but she should have shot her. She's incredibly annoying, just saying.
It's enough that I let her come along. There's no way she's getting her hands on this kid. Move away, now.
Well, that was a very quick 30-second turnaround from, you're never touching this child, to, okay, you hold him.
And he meant everything to her.
So much so that she left him in the middle of a field to be consumed by walkers at the behest of a crazy woman that she could have just walked away from rather than giving up her child.
She was everything to you, right?
So much so that she attacked her sister to protect the crazy woman and got her eaten by walkers. Ah, yeah, that famous trick to open a car door where you kind of lightly smack the window. Okay, let's be real, at this point in time, you'd be giving up on the bloody car that you'd likely think must be locked by now and go off somewhere else, especially since they're all coming in one direction, that being behind them. Failing that, very easily take them out. They're very slow. Forrest Bay the human, he comes out of nowhere and he shakes you real quick. He doesn't make sense because he's a big heavy tall looking dude. Forrest Bay the human.
You're leaving?
She's ever so slightly moving away from you. Jesus Christ, who wrote that line?
Stay as long as you like.
So you're just gonna leave her behind? Again?
This wouldn't be so hilarious had this woman not herself once already advocated for leaving someone behind just a few episodes ago, where they were in the forest and they left the sisters and went home while in whisper territory.
What the hell is wrong with her?
I didn't ask you to do that.
I am so sorry if I'm just not gonna sit here and take that.
Things don't always work out the way you want me.
What does that even mean? She hits her because she's pissed at Carol. She says, I didn't ask you to do that, being a sassy Sasquatch as always. And then she goes and says, I'm sorry, I'm not going to sit here and take that. And her reply, things don't always go the way you want them to. Excuse me, what? What does Alpha say to Negan when he has an accident?
You proved yourself again.
One more time?
You proved yourself again.
I'm so immature, but it really does sound like pooped.
You proved yourself again.
Took you long enough.
So why bother doing all of that work trying to kill Alpha if that was seemingly just the plan all along anyway?
You couldn't have done that 5 hours ago?
Why would I do that?
Michonne would be good at TV sins right about here.
Him not to claw his way up the thing and jump inside. Just like his mom.
Either she just walked past that sign in the background, doubled back quickly and then walked by it, but this time slightly further away, or they just did an oopsie. When she bursts into this room, the dude is so close to her that he's getting all handsy. Like, bruh, back off. And worst of all, she's not even bothered in spite of being super on guard this entire time. And the moment she goes through a door, he's hanging on to her and she doesn't say or do anything. Doesn't even worry her at all. Remind me why he came along when he can't kill his Walker wife and Walker kids. Why would he even want to be there when it happens? That's so weird. God, he's annoying. None of these walkers fall to the floor when being pushed backwards, all of them just walking in reverse until it's time to tumble down like predictable dominoes. Just not realistic dominoes which would fall in the hallway, because they're dumb walkers who fall when pushed down, and not humans who can engage their brains and keep upright when being pushed backwards. I'm not going to show it, but basically Michonne decided it would make more sense to take out these like 30 walkers in a large square room where she can be surrounded, rather than a narrow hallway where they can only come from a single direction. Like, come on man, military leaders been using tactics for this situation for thousands of years. I'm looking at you, King Leonidas.
Jasmine loved that book.
Look, I know that this is hard and I am sorry, but I have got to get back.
My wife, whenever I had a hard time, she talked me through it.
I don't care, bruh!
Look.
I wanted to ask you. It's getting dark and some of the buildings aren't safe. Could we do this in the morning?
How long have I been in here?
A day, maybe?
How are there fat people at the end of the world?
A day?
Why didn't you answer me when I called out to you the first time?
He blows up at us sometimes.
Whole place is booby-trapped. What's his routine? How often does he come around?
as little as possible.
He says he comes by as little as possible, but then also says that they didn't speak to her for 24 bloody hours because they thought they'd anger him by speaking to her. Also though, let's be real, haven't seen the guy with a gun the entire time, or hell, any weapon for that matter, and yet this group of 3 people are afraid to go 3-on-1 against him if he even came in, that is.
His wife and kids were inside.
I'm sorry, a dude locks me in a room for 24 hours for no apparent reason with no food or water. I couldn't give a flying fuck about what happened to his family months or years ago. I'm not going, oh no, when I hear the news all fake sad. Bruh, this is the worst damn episode of The Walking Dead, and I'm not even the biggest fan of the show, as you well know. This is terrible. It's not done very well at all, is it?
With that damn camera pointing at everyone. My babies.
No, not now.
You and your brother need me, and everything going on in Alexandria.
Mom. You have to go.
God, that's so stupid! Again, they're making the kid out to be all wise and smart when the fact of the matter is that Michonne hasn't got a single clue of where to look for Rick even if she wanted to. Of course she's just gonna pop off and navigate the world to track him down for season 11, I'm betting, but in reality, right here and now, the kid's saying, you gotta do this, you gotta go and find him, but she doesn't know where to bloody look. It's just a dumb series of lines hidden under an attempted layer of emotional storytelling.
You're alive. How did you...
I'm sorry? Are these two dating now or something? They're being awfully emotional with one another, and I can't recall a scene where I've seen them utter 10 words to one another since she entered the show.
To believe in future friends and new alliances, but... after everything we just lost, I'm willing to be the fool.
All of this nonsense, and fails to mention the key factors that this is someone he's been speaking to for a long time now, and furthermore, he hasn't mentioned where their camp is or any details about it, so no risk involved in that regard. But no, just keep talking about how you were lonely and finally found a girl to talk to instead. Not showing it, but again people acting totally unrealistically as Beta holds the guy's face to the walker head of Alpha, gets his face bitten, and yet continues standing there screaming instead of doing literally anything else while his face is munched on.
So was your boy. You sent him away. And he never came back.
So now I'm being expected to believe that out of the blue now, Carol is suddenly struck with a case of the sixth sense? Okay.
He wasn't strong enough to make the journey. Maybe I'm not either.
Nah, mate, he was fine. It was you who wasn't strong enough, and as a result, you fumbled at taking out the walkers when in the past it would have been easy, and your horse's ass got a bite taken out of it. That wasn't on the horse, that was on you.
It's finally time. This way, friend.
I refuse to believe that a normally fairly sane person can be seeing the same thing that isn't there for like a solid day now.
Bullshit.
Maybe that's up to you. Are you gonna hurt me?
Keep pointing the damn gun at us and you'll find out.
That seems like a smart thing to say.
Selfish.
Nothing says selfish like handing over your weapon to near strangers and helping them to find a car because you're so desperate to talk to someone. Well, that just seems like a dumb thing to do. Straight sin, that one. Him being dumb.
Alright. If you do this with me, you're gonna do everything I say, you're gonna stay right next to me. Alright?
Daryl lets her tag along when he knows full well that all she did was leave a note back at the safe house, which obviously they would freak out about and go looking for her. So just to be clear now, everyone is just hearing and seeing stuff that isn't there on and off, yeah?
I just need a minute to think.
Either you get us out of here safely, or I'll kill you myself.
Well, that's a weird thing to say.
For what? I didn't.
Let's all just take a...
No. Our friends, our families are depending on us. She may not have anyone left to care about, but we sure as hell do.
She already apologised, got them out of the minefield safely, and now is the time she decides is ideal to go and have it out with her pointlessly.
And all day, I kept hearing that little voice in my head. It's me. And I know I should have...
Why the hell does the Walking Dead crew think I'll give a rat's ass about a brand new character telling me all about her troubles? Because I really don't care!
I hated her! I want to hate her, so screw you for telling me I can't even do that! Oh! It's not okay! It's not okay!
I can't believe we just left her.
God, this kid is so annoying. I swear I never thought I'd miss Coral Reef.
What if you were lost? And no one could find you? Where RJ was.
That's different, you little gobshite. You're listing family members and trying to compare it to an enemy. And the worst thing is, Daryl doesn't say anything about it. So, like... how did Beta know that they were at the hospital? Did a cat lead them there as well? This is all very weird. Also though, it's the same hospital as the one where Beth died in season 5, and that's also a little weird. Also, I don't quite know why they didn't just stay in Alexandria, which would be super tough to break into, and instead went to a fairly easy to breach hospital, and for all they know, someone could wander in and just take their homes since they left the gate open. Or at the very least, it could have been trashed or burned to the ground, and then they're even more screwed. So you decided that placing a flower on your missus' grave every day was only something that had to be done for a few days then, yeah? Why are they keeping this absolute mental douchebag in this show? I don't get it!
Just Stephanie will not stay past sundown tomorrow.
She say that to you? Hey, you don't know. I mean, I thought I'd never see people again, and wow, look at me now. She's right.
She didn't even give him a chance to say yes or no. She just interrupted with, "You don't know," said, "I'm right," and then the other woman said, "Yeah, she's right." You don't know what they discussed on the radio. Hell, you've only known about the situation for less than 12 hours as it is.
It's not what this has to be. It can be something else. So can you.
Imagine having conversations like these in real life. She says she'd like to hang out and chat and not have things be awkward. And Carol says, "You need to be yourself. You need to find your own way." And she says she's not looking for another mum. And Carol and their friendship can be something else. What are you on about? I love how the walkers piled against this door, body to body outside, are able to just casually walk backwards as the door opens to allow these walkers easy access.
There.
Not going to show it for obvious reasons, but they showed the dead guy being torn to pieces. But the problem is that he didn't have a head, and they didn't really try to cover it that well. So basically, they either messed up a little and just used the torso with legs as a fake body, or these walkers tore the head off in 6 seconds. Either is sinful. I mean, come on, they're not a pack of lions, and it'd take lions a lot longer than 6 seconds to take the noggin off. Somehow the ex-Whisperer girl is unable to spot the 6'4" dude in the leather jacket and point him out in the crowd.
I can't find any of them.
Beta knows they're in there.
I thought that was the idea anyway, since they took out 2 attackers mere seconds before they could attack their group. I figured that'd be obvious that he knew they were there, especially when 2 of his mates suddenly got taken down. Man, oh man, they really do take it stupidly far. They show walkers tearing off legs at the hip and forearms at the elbow like they're pulling apart a lobster with no resistance whatsoever. Shockingly, the human body is quite tough, and no matter how bony your hands are or how sharp your nails would be in death, you can't tear off a leg at the hip. The idea that this dude throwing this thing was able to hook that perfectly at night around the tyre of the cart.
Is Rosita in it?
Why was this little girl not evacuated with the women and children? Extremely Maggie X Machina right there.
Fear nothing. We are free. We embrace our death.
As always, it's a no-show, but he pulled some rather large daggers out of his eyes like that wouldn't kill him, and oh my goodness, are you serious right now? CGI! No one ever misses these stupidly difficult throws.
Hey, Maggie.
Unless this kid is somehow the only person that she's spoken to since getting back, I call bullshit on no one having mentioned, oh by the by, Negan is now free and out and about, just a quick heads up.
Is everybody okay?
Herschel's fine. Don't worry.
Everyone else?
Didn't ask about Herschel, asked about everyone, and even if she did, that's an odd way to reply to a very calm and standard sounding question. Is everyone okay? Alright, chill, Herschel is fine, you worry pants you. Also, yes, everyone is okay.
Hold tight the rendezvous.
I swear everyone in this fucking show mumbles so much. I mean, I legit don't even know what he's saying. I don't know if it's poor sound quality and or recording or just straight up mumbling.
Hold tight the rendezvous.
All in tied the necro?
Hold tight the rendezvous.
All in tied benign begro?
I thought I'd take him to Hilltop. What is it?
So here's a question. What have they actually told Maggie since she got back?
Negan was with the Whisperers that night. I wanted you to hear it from me because...
It was you? You let him out?
She just jumped the world's largest assumption long jump right there. My god.
You're gonna pick up Maggie's people, right?
Yeah.
I wanna come with you. You know? Keep an eye out for Connie.
Really oddly signing to a guy who can hear perfectly fine, and then even more oddly stopping said signing halfway through the conversation.
You okay?
Just a cut, but I could use a little help!
Oh, very slow reaction from Daryl.
It's not decided with Negan. Not yet. And what Carol did, she didn't...
She felt she had to.
I don't understand putting so much emphasis on Carol letting him out when before that happened he was out and about in Alexandria anyway, potting plants and stuff. Before that he escaped and then actually came back on his own, and then the stuff happened with Carol, but everyone is just focusing on the last bit, like he was 100% a prisoner in a cell prior to her letting him out.
You left your post.
As opposed to going up to her when she's in sight and saying her name, because why do that when you can grab a leg? Ah, maybe it's a walker!
We have to go.
I just had to check.
Understandable, but could have most definitely been quickly done come morning after they set out, and that way they don't all potentially get killed in their sleep because you left your post.
Kelly's sister. Is she still out there?
Would be a bit weird to check on the top of a truck and have Daryl say she's missing if that wasn't the case, wouldn't it?
It's them. They're out here.
We don't know that.
2 of our people are dead, Maggie.
Okay. Do only the people who are looking for you kill people? Because if so, that's spot on. It must be them, because they kill people and no one else does. But we know that's not the case, don't we? And so Maggie is right. We don't know that this was the people after them. That's her point. Tree? No tree.
Oh, shit.
Maya, get down!
Not gonna show it, but that girl was too stupid to have survived the damn apocalypse. She knows they're being shot at and gets yelled at to get down and just stands there looking confused. What?
I'll go around and flank him.
Says that she's going to go and flank the shooter, but then ends up coming in at the side of the gun position. Dude, what sort of trained killer takes his time to hunt them, taking them out from a distance, luring them into a trap, but then really takes his time getting changed, allowing her to cut herself free and him to wake up and grab his weapon? I mean, seriously?
Get down!
Why show them the pin giving away what you've just done, though? Also, though, I'm pretty sure a grenade isn't safe at a 2-foot distance merely because you knelt down. Also, though, I'm pretty sure it wouldn't cause someone to effectively evaporate.
Hey, Mom.
I absolutely refuse to believe that either of them didn't see this kid quite clearly in view up the street.
Connie's. I came as a surprise. Point, they were too tired.
So very confused by the consistent signing when talking and then just not bothering anymore after a few seconds of it.
You had a sister too, right? You were the oldest.
How'd you know?
I could just tell sometimes.
Bullshit.
This might surprise you, but I'm dropping off a sin here purely because, and I made no secret to this, but I personally found the Whisperers a terribly lacking foe. I didn't find them scary, I thought their whole gimmick was really overrated and easy to defeat. I even had one person tell me why I'm wrong about them not being scary, and bruh, let me just say, if you have to explain to someone why something is in fact scary, it's not really scary. Anyway, sin off here for this new foe, a badass military type armed to the gills is infinitely more dangerous and scary to deal with than a bunch of weirdos in walker skin masks. So yes, they made a decent enemy.
I haven't spearfished in years. But you don't think I can? Give me that.
You'd be my guess.
That would be a strange assumption based purely upon him handing over the spear. I'm not going to bother cutting and splicing together their long-ass conversation because it takes forever and they take irritatingly long gaps between every half-dozen words in this show. But I'm issuing out a sin here for this convo. It's just Carol talking nonsense. We lost Alexandria! Daryl points out that they in fact have not lost Alexandria and she says, not yet, and then talks about how it's only a matter of time till it's all over, as though that hasn't been the way of the world since forever. It's just kind of an annoying series of statements that don't really mean much. "5 years ago," when Daryl still looked literally exactly the same. Yeah, that bag definitely didn't make it all the way across.
Something tells me you don't really want to die. Not today, anyway.
You don't know anything about me.
You're right.
Is that really the greatest moment to be disagreeing with her? When she says, something tells me you don't want to die, and his response is, you don't know anything about me. Do you want to die?
I didn't come here looking for any trouble. Your dog found me. I was just trying to help.
You're tied up in my cabin with a 12 gauge pointed at your head. What kind of help you think I need?
Such a dumbass reply to his statement. Obviously, yes, you don't need help, do you, Mrs. Big, Strong and Independent Woman? But it could have been a kid, an old woman or something, anything. The point is, he was aiming to help, but it doesn't take a genius to understand that he didn't know he was specifically coming to help you, does it? She cuts that thick-ass rope with that tiny-ass little blade in just a few short seconds, and they don't even show her cutting away at it. It's like she cut a hot knife through butter.
I get it, you know? Being out here by yourself.
You've been out here alone for a long time, too, huh? Come on.
Man, these people really changed their opinions super quick. Literally within less than 60 seconds, she went from saying, don't give me any gifts, leave me alone, to like inviting him around for a cuppa. Okay, way! You can't even drop something real onto that? It had to be CGI!
What are you doing?
Taking it for a quick spin. Building Ninja Walker! As opposed to slightly looking through the door, because why be slightly cautious when you can fling the door open and run it without a care in the world?
Let it all out.
Oh.
Are you through?
I don't get it. What are you laughing about? I don't know what it's about.
This bottle easily cost over $2,000.
The fact that people would pay that much to get drunk is a huge part of what was wrong with the world.
If you're saying that people bought an entire bottle and drank all of it in order to get drunk, then you're a friggin' moron, mate. Clearly you'd buy and have a little at a time. I mean, this whiskey is pretty strong.
My name is Maze.
Yet another example of extremely poor field of view considering he came at him directly from the front. Also though, you don't go and kill off the T-1000 like that. That's naff, bruh.
We couldn't take him with us. He killed his brother's family.
Well, that's an assumption. He said he killed his brother. He never mentioned having killed his family. In fact, he never actually even mentioned having killed his brother. Oh, who cares?
No, wait!
Really? Okay, I guess. Oh dear.
Wrong move. You're hurting me.
Gotta love that dumbness. She goes for his gun and seconds later is complaining about, you're hurting me.
Princess, what are you doing? Are you there?
Jesus Christ, what a boring ass start to the episode this has been.
Please don't do anything.
You sound a little groggy. Did you hit your head?
What do you mean, did you hit your head? You were watching when they hit her in the noggin with their gun.
Come on.
The idea that these soldier-looking types use these carriages as prison cells and then didn't bother to make sure that there's not an easily escapable hole in the wall covered by a very thin piece of wood. Also though, in that fairly small carriage, she never once noticed this, and yes, I know it's kind of dark, but your eyes adjust real nicely. You're bored and worried for your friend, and say you want to get out there, so you'd have a super good look and feel around. No excuse for randomly not finding this till now.
What do you want from me?
We're done.
I gave you answers.
Get her out of here.
Why can't I see her?
No, you really didn't actually. You ignored, I'd wager, 70% of them, answered with your own questions for most of what you did say, and gave your name as Princess and said you were in Pittsburgh when the fallout occurred. That's literally it.
You're being a bitch.
I want to see her!
This guy stood behind her and holding on to her, and yet randomly when he hits her, she manages to go flying backwards.
We can't just leave them here.
You don't think I know that? They're my friends. I didn't mean it like that.
I know they're your friends. You don't have to be an asshole about it.
He's really not. It's very logical. He's known them for years, he's known you for a day or so. It's not difficult to understand.
What the hell did you just do?
No, a more important question was, how the hell did he just do that? I mean, did he see her go through the hole in the wall that she blocked back up? Then neither of them mentioned it, then the door began to open and he flew out through that hole, made his way around, got up into the train since they're fairly high off the ground, and then KO'd this guy? Jesus, bruh! Not to mention how these soldiers are just the worst. They never see the big old hole in the wall when it's uncovered, and seemingly he managed to take away the board, slip through and replace the board, because if not, the guy's entering a dark carriage and yet not noticing the light streaming through a rather large and obvious hole behind her. Man, it just sucks. That was terrible.
Oh my god, stop! Stop! You're gonna kill him!
I wouldn't worry about killing the guy when he's just pressing around his upper chest area, not got his hands anywhere near his throat. Okay, that's a good plot twist. That's fair enough then in that case. They can take back 3 sins in title. That's actually pretty good.
Maybe Ezekiel and the others will bring help soon, and you won't have to make a soup out of rocks.
I hope so too.
That whole damn story, and that's what comes out of it. Him wrongly stating that the soup was literally made out of stones, when that's not what the story is about. And oh, why do I even bother? Just take the damn sin.
He'll come back. He always comes back. I don't, though, do I?
Except that you very much do. Case in point, the fact that you're back right now, as you said, that you don't always come back. You know, it's not a massive deal, but it just really feels like if they wanted to extend this season as they have, they really could have given us a bit more story. It feels like a lot is happening, and at the same time, absolutely nothing is happening, and thus it feels extremely boring to me. But that's just me. In fact, a few of these episodes have just been the same for me, lots and lots of talking, and nothing moving the story forwards, and as such, I don't really have much to write about.
Little pig, little pig. Let me in.
I think this is now like the last person who hasn't been imagining stuff that isn't there, so that's perfect. Every single person has just spent time with an imaginary figure like it's the most normal shit in the world. Well, no sins to be found in this genuinely very good episode. I actually liked this one more than any other episode from season 8, 9 or 10. They just really did justice to his backstory in my honest opinion, and that's worth a sin off. Nathan Byrne, Bird Without a Word, Tyler Warner, PK Fan, Ali 50, Ryan Anderson, Isael Caldera, Mr. Waffle 64, Kieran Robinson, Chris Harris, Yona Stahl, Manolo Saucedo Munoz, Kim Munt, Jason Davies, The Element Taylor Wars, Manuel Morales, Conito, Dark Lord Bloody Soul, Blitzcloud, Sebastian Ramirez, Oro Keeper, Jaffa 6263, Magnus, Kevin Nelter, Aniki Curve, Brendan Krier, Kaj Vorzelman, Jordan Samuels, Sean Graves, The Epic Commander, Crimson Shadows, Kyle Farmer, Adora Blue, Matthew Ditzworth, Sentimento, Gaten 2000, Mackie Sam, Storm 970, Hinakami and Water.